Hi, it's Frankie Widdows here, and what I want to talk to you about briefly is my favourite subject, which is fan perfection. Because fan perfection is something that you really do need within your work, especially if you're going to compete, and is something that I'm always looking for when I'm judging. Now, a lot of the time people struggle with perfect fans, and it is to do with their tweezers. So I will be showing how to find your sweet spot in your tweezers, because if you don't find that sweet spot, you will find that you'll never be able to make a perfect fan. And your sweet spot will always vary depending on the type of tweezer that you've got. Sometimes your sweet spot, which is your grab area, is more towards the tip of your tweezer, and sometimes it's more towards the curve of your tweezer. And like I said, every single tweezer is different, so it really is up to that technician to work with that tweezer and find out where that sweet spot is so that they can start making beautiful fans. Another thing that I'll be showcasing is how to hold your tweezers correctly. A lot of people incorrectly hold their tweezers, and this means that a lot of the time your tweezers will be twisting, and this will cause the bases of your fans to split open. So by teaching students the correct techniques of how to hold their tweezers, they actually very quickly find that their fan work improves so much and their bases of their fans become very, very tight and seamless just by adapting the technique that they're currently using. And like I said, I'm very much into looking for those perfect fans. And creating that fan takes skill, it takes time. We cannot rush the technique of Russian volume, but instead take our time to create fans that look something like this. We want perfect symmetry between the tips of every extension in that fan, and we want those bases to be in a lovely seamless point so that when we do attach it to the natural lash, it can wrap and it can create a beautiful seamless bond that's beautiful and clean. And again, that's another thing that I am looking for when I'm judging in competitions. Now, a lot of technicians fail to understand that volume lashing is a lot about angles and how you approach the fan with the angle of your tweezers. So this is something that I'm very, very much into teaching correct tweezer angles when working with our fans, because if we don't work with the correct tweezer angles, you'll find that your fans will lack consistency. They'll sometimes end up being closed, they'll sometimes end up being open. Because if we don't adopt all of these techniques, then we're not able to get this beautiful fan that we've got on the left here. And instead we get inconsistent fans, we get bases that don't come together, they don't bond well onto the natural lash, they don't look nice within the set. And also it can be quite dangerous for the client when your bases aren't perfect. So this is something I'm really passionate about. This is what I'm looking for in my students' work, when I'm judging, and also what I'm looking for in the industry, because actually sadly a lot of technicians tend to rush their work, or they don't understand these techniques of creating those beautiful perfect fans, and instead they're creating things like look like this on the right hand side, and it does our industry absolutely no justice by producing work like this, which is incorrect. And another thing that a lot of technicians get wrong, and I like to teach, is to ensure that they understand correct fan dipping techniques, because I find that a lot of people that are transitioning from classic lashes onto volume do the same dipping techniques, and they're actually grabbing far too much adhesive, and this doesn't allow that fan to stay open. Instead, the adhesive travels up through that fan and closes it. So again, this is something that I'm also looking for when we're judging, is that they have used the right amount of adhesive so it keeps that fan nice and open, it doesn't close, and it creates a beautiful fluffy effect in your sets. And another thing I like to see and I like to teach is the correct wrap, where we're actually causing that fan to wrap around and encase the natural lash. It's going to offer you great retention, it's going to be really, really comfortable for the client, and it's going to look very, very seamless. So it's about learning the techniques of how you go about approaching that natural lash so that you can wrap around it. So I hope by that small little video you can see why I'm so passionate about fan perfection, why I really, really enjoy it as a topic, why I enjoy judging work, because I'm looking for all of these sort of things, and so that I can hopefully teach people how to go about creating perfect fans so that they can give their clients the best sets out there, and if they're competing in competitions they can produce outstanding work. I look forward to seeing you at the competition.